Ruslan. All right, news just broke that Elon Musk backed out of his Twitter deal. Now, why is that significant? Well, it's significant because a lot of what social media in this YouTube space hinges on is the perception that you are successful. And the reason why this deal fell through, as is being reported, is something that I think a lot of people have a misperception about social. But it says Tesla chief executive officer Elon Musk said on Friday he was terminating his $44 billion deal for Twitter. Remember, he was going to buy Twitter. He was going to make it more of a free speech platform, all that stuff, right? Well, saying that that's not happening anymore. He's terminated the deal. Okay. So the Twitter stock then fell 6%, which is crazy. But he said the reason why is because the company failed to provide information about fake accounts on the platform. Twitter had failed or refused to respond to multiple requests for information on fake or spam accounts on the platform, which is fundamental to the company's business performance, inflating fake accounts. Okay, the Friday filing claimed that Twitter is a material breach of multiple provisions. For nearly 2 months, Mr. Musk has sought the data information necessary to make an independent assessment of the prevalence of fake or spam accounts on Twitter's platform. Okay, Twitter has failed or refused to provide this information. And then Twitter responded and said the board is committed to disclosing the transaction on the price of terms and goods upon Mr. Musk and plans to pursue legal action to, so gosh, they're threatening to sue him. So what Musk is claiming here is that they had way more fake accounts than they let on. Now, why is this significant? Well, one, it would have been a big deal if he would have bought Twitter. It seems like he's not going to buy Twitter. Second of all, this is significant because it appears that Twitter is built on sand. It appears that Twitter is built on the illusion of an audience when in reality, a lot of that audience is just that. It's bots, it's fake accounts, it's not really relegated to an actual engagement. Why is this important? As we are building our platforms, as you guys are looking to build YouTube, social media, all these different things, we sometimes let numbers get to our heads. We sometimes think that, like, I have 206,000 subscribers on my main channel, 60,000 Instagram followers. You always assume that just because you have someone that opted in, one, that all those people are real, which based on Twitter revelation, they're not. Two, you assume that all those people would pay for your goods or services. Okay, now I'm going to show you guys a video that's going to blow your mind. This is really kind of sad, but it's also indicative of the space that we're in. This is very bold of her part to post. She has 1.3 million followers on TikTok, and no one showed up to her meet and greet. Check it out. And she posts, she came with these little things for everyone, and no one showed up. So this young lady is mega famous on TikTok, and no one showed up to meet her at her meet and greet event. Now, just so you guys know, that would be terrifying for me. We're trying to host a 200K celebration in downtown LA and San Diego. If y'all don't show up for that, we're not doing no more of those, okay? So as a creator, this stuff is horrifying. To have what is perceived to be a massive audience, to have what's perceived to be people that really choose to rock with you, opt in, and don't show up. What does that go to say? That goes to say, as you're building an online community, that not all followers are built equal. Not all platforms are the same. Not all communities, engagement is worth the same. And if you're actually looking to build a business, it's not just about the number and the social vanity metric of your platform, that you actually have to have something beneath the surface to help you build something that is going to sustain you ultimately as a creator, but also as a person that wants to, add value to people, build a community, monetize something. And so if you're hopping on this thing and your number one obsession is vanity metric, how many subscribers, how many this, how many that, I promise you that is not the sure way to actually building a community. I promise you that what you want to start looking at are things like engagement, are things like, can you get people over to your email list? Can you get people to opt into your text list? Can you get people to spend a little bit of money with you so that you could take them along the journey to ultimately building a relationship with them on the exchange of true value, on the exchange of, hey, we're doing something that is meaningful, and therefore you're here not just as an escape, but as an engagement to grow and to become the type of person that you desire to be. YouTube, you could build a lot of depth. YouTube, you could go long form. YouTube, you can jump in. You could have long form conversations where people really start to feel like they know you. This is why podcasting could be powerful. This is why live streaming can be powerful. This is why all of these long form contents could be good. And so sometimes short form can create the illusion of a lot of width, but that width may not transfer to actual depth with your core. And YouTube can also create, obviously, short form content, but can also create this interesting in-between of it's not long and it's not short. It's kind of in between, and that may not serve to build an actual relationship with your core audience. And so I've seen this kind of play out over the years. I've seen different creators attempt to do these things. I've seen people who have incredible vanity metrics, but they can't sell 1,000 records. I've seen people that have incredible millions of followers, but they can't sell out a show. I've seen these things, and let me tell you, don't build your house on the sand. Build your house in a way that allows you to have a relationship with your audience, to go deep and wide. There's a book written by Andy Stanley, and it was specifically about ministry, but I like the premise and I like the concept. And the book was called Deep and Wide. And the big idea of it was you want to be able to go wide. And so for me, short form content, vertical short form content, Instagram Reels, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, that's the top of funnel. We're going wide, right? The shorter YouTube videos, we're going wide. It can get a lot of subscribers over. How I grew my channel by 35,000 subscribers in 1 month. I did a short that went viral. It was kind of random. It was like walking into a casino and winning, right? But then once you get the eyeballs, you want to go deep into some sort of longer form, depthful, more nuanced, good conversation where you're actually engaging with your audience. And so as you guys are building these platforms, just make sure you're in tune. Make sure you're paying attention to what's happening here, because not everything that glistens is gold. Not everyone that has a gang of subscribers or a gang of followers is actually monetizing that in a healthy way that's beneficial for the creator and beneficial for the subscriber, the person on the other end of that. And by and large, the metric you should be looking at is not how many numbers you have. The metric you should be looking at is how many people are you getting to move along the process of going on your journey to hopefully figure out a way to monetize, and hopefully figure out a way to build enough trust that they're actually willing to spend money and invest in what you're doing. And so that I wanted to show this because I think this whole thing connects. Twitter, fake followers, vanity metrics, inflated numbers converted to actual people who are actually willing to show up for you, who are actually willing to spend money with you, who are actually willing to listen to you. It's a really interesting dynamic and dilemma that we're in right now. And so anyway, I want to hear from you guys. You're here, you're considering these things. What do you guys think about this? When you measure someone's relevance, do you just look at vanity metrics, or do you go and check beneath the hood? I think it's a very interesting concept, and I think a lot of these things also take time to build trust. MasterMyNiche.com is where the free training is, and I do recommend you take the free training. I think you guys will find an immense value from it. If you haven't, the link is also pinned up in the description. Jump in, figure out your niche, what you should be making content about, what you shouldn't be making content about. A lot of times that's really the issue for a lot of us. We don't really know what we should and shouldn't be making content about. So that's pinned up. If you found this video valuable and you want to hear more about my YouTube story, how I started from having a failing channel to growing to over 200,000 subscribers, you guys could check that out, or check the free niche training in the description.